Expect for the next several hours. We go through tonight into early tomorrow morning, especially as the National Weather Service, they have expanded the tornado watch to now include all of Travis County, all of Hayes County, Blanco, Bastrop County. Basically expanded it farther to the south, and that also expanded the time that it's going to be valid for. It's going to go all the way through until 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. So really going to be an active night tonight, and obviously we do have these showers and thunderstorms ongoing. In fact, we got the first severe thunderstorm warning in our neck of the woods. Just came down about maybe 5-10 minutes ago. You can see it right here. I'll stop the radar. It's for this storm into northern Hayes County. It's near Dripping Springs. This guy right here is going to be moving up towards the north and northeast at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. It has a possibility of producing up to about a quarter-sized hail. It's about 1-inch diameter hail. And really the big thing with this is that it is a dangerous thunderstorm. However, this is not going to be like a critically damaging thunderstorm. It could produce up to 60-mile-per-hour winds, which is going to be the main threat with this storm. And of course, some lightning. You can see those lightning strikes outside of Dripping Springs. Those lightning strikes and the strong winds are going to be the main threat with this. Quarter-sized hail will sound nasty on your roof, on your car, but crucially, it should not damage your car. The thing we're going to have to watch for, though, is as this continues to move on up towards the north and northeast, it could start to turn right, and as it does turn right, it could bring it through Austin. And the thing that would happen if that storm starts to turn right is that's an indication of a very powerful rotation in the updraft that enhances the velocity of the updraft, which basically makes it better, more possible for it to sustain larger hail. And this is, of course, going to be an issue as it heads up to a much more populated area in Austin and North Austin up towards Pflugerville. So this storm is paralleling I-35 from south to north right about now, but we're going to have to watch it very, very closely. It's really not the only game in town, though. Of course, we also have this severe thunderstorm warning for Mason County in our area as well. This severe thunderstorm is warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail once again. So again, it should not be damaging. The hail should not be damaging to cars. The winds are really going to be the biggest, most dangerous thing to come out of these storms as they do rumble across Mason County. However, these storms are also really going to be potentially dangerous, especially as we get later into the night, as they do look like they are rotating. They've got this kind of weird shape to them. You can see they kind of look like potatoes. This is an indication that the storm is really starting to rotate as the wind kind of goes around like that. Let me put an arrow on that and clear this thing back out. Kind of show you what I'm seeing right here. But this basically, the wind is coming in this way and the outflow is coming back out that way. So when you have that sort of, I guess, difference in the wind direction, you get yourself a rotation in the updraft of the storm. That tends to produce this sort of weird shape right here. It's the beginning of a hook. If we could, we might be able to flip it over onto our velocity product. Give me a couple little seconds, and I'll really get into it for you. But here we go. You got your velocity product on GRK. We need Killeen. That's a little bit of a rotation. It's not too particularly intense right now. You can kind of see a little bit. It's very faint, but basically this area right here is darker green than this area right here. That means that this area is moving towards the radar a little bit faster than this area. It's a little weak rotation. Same thing with this storm up here. It's not a whole lot of rotation associated with it. That's great. We don't like to see rotation when it comes to these thunderstorms. But all these storms, of course, are moving on up towards the north northeast, well, I guess except for the storms out west. These storms out here are moving off towards the east and southeast as we go throughout the evening. But we can talk more about those showers and thunderstorms. Basically, these storms have broken the cap. They're right along the cold front, moving from northwest down to the south and east, and they will eventually get into our neck of the woods. Again, these showers and storms down by New Braunfels, this guy right here, that might be bats. So we're going to have to be watching very closely to make sure that the bats don't, I guess, contaminate our radar imagery. But temperatures are very, very warm. We're still into the low 80s. If we look at our dew points, they're still very high, and that's the heat, that's the humidity that we need to fuel these thunderstorms and severe thunderstorms and possibly tornadic thunderstorms. The National Weather Service, talking about that tornado watch, which was, of course, expanded, they are worried that the atmosphere is capable of producing tornadoes. We've had several tornadoes produced up just to the north of our area up towards Waco, or a monster storm just dropped like literally grapefruit-sized hail just to the east of downtown Waco. So huge damaging thunderstorms moving through north central Texas. In central Texas, we have not seen the really bad stuff just yet. However, we still have the rest of the night to go. This is our enhanced risk for severe weather. It's to the north. It does not include our area, but it does include it with a slight risk for severe weather, which is for the Austin metro and down towards San Marcos, west and east. We are also in that slight risk for severe weather. This is a slight risk for tornadoes. You can see it's this kind of brownish color right here. It goes from Mason all the way down through Bastrop and Giddings. So anyone in here has the highest risk to see a tornado as we go through tonight, but especially it's going to be the hail. The hail is really the thing that sparked off this enhanced risk for severe weather. And once you get these like dark lines on top of the slight risk, that means that the National Weather Service is especially worried in that region for very large hail to form, in addition to the merely severe hail, which is technically quarter size. Again, severe hail, quarter size, won't damage your car. However, once you get to ping pong ball size hail, that's when you start to get the dents. And then once you get up from that, like tennis ball size hail, that could break windshields, baseball size hail, easily total your car. And then once you get like the softball and grapefruit size hail, that's when it goes through roofs. So we have basically the potential to see up to baseball sized hail this evening and into the early hours of tonight. However, just because it is possible does not mean that it's going to happen. The storms do look like they are weakening ever so slightly, and really the storms over Austin, at least the ones that have started to develop, these have had a real hard time breaking the cap. The ones farther to the west, these are the ones that have really broken the cap and have really tapped into all of that energy. That said, here's your severe weather impacts. Like I was talking about, up to baseball size hail. I think this is the ceiling for our area to see the largest hailstones. I mean, baseball size hail is gigantic. 60-70 mile per hour winds are also possible. Flash flood risk, not really. I mean, you might see some very localized urban flooding, like poor drainage type of stuff. However, the storms are just going to be moving too quickly for there to be significant flash flooding. So it does not look like what we saw Thursday. We could see some areas that do get a good amount of rain very quickly, and that could back up the storm drains and everything, but that should, go down the drain pretty fast and should not back up into any creeks significantly. And then, of course, a few tornadoes are going to be possible as we go through this evening. The tornado watch, again, as I was saying, has been expanded to about 1 a.m. and has been expanded to include Travis County, Blanco County, Hayes, Bastrop County, and out towards Giddings as well. So those storms moving on in from the north and west could be pretty potent, especially as you go into the late night hours. How about 10:30 p.m. chance for showers and thunderstorms? The models have been backing off a little tiny bit with this. I think they're bringing the cap back into central Texas, but these showers and thunderstorms could be pretty impressive right around 11:30 p.m. to about midnight or so, and then once you get to maybe 1 to 2 a.m., that's when they're going to start to fizzle out. So we could see some very strong thunderstorms as they move through eastern Travis County and towards Bastrop County, heading to the south and southeast. But otherwise, we're looking at this low pressure system to the north. This is basically the troublemaker up here. This guy is developing low pressure system, but it does have a cold front, and that's in bringing enough cold or cool dry air into central Texas to spark off all these showers and thunderstorms. And of course, the tornado-warned thunderstorms farther up to the north. So this is a good way for you to think about it. So we have ourselves a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, or tornado watch in effect. This is basically that the tornadoes are possible. The atmosphere is primed for the thunderstorms that do form to be able to produce tornadoes. That does not mean that a tornado is going to come out of any of these thunderstorms. You can see right here, this thunderstorm just to the west of Austin, that's not going to produce a tornado. That one's not even rotating. But once you get farther to the north and include some of the thunderstorms, way north of Land Passes, sure, you could see a tornado out of those thunderstorms because those thunderstorms are rotating. The same type of conditions are included all as far south as, San Marcos. Once you get to a severe thunderstorm warning, that's when it's happening. A tornado warning, that's when a tornado could be happening right now or within the next 5-10 minutes. So basically, the difference between a severe weather watch and a severe weather warning, so a tornado watch versus a tornado warning, is the urgency. A warning is much more urgent. If you get a tornado warning, you are in the polygon, your phone goes crazy because you got that extreme weather alert. That means that you need to take your tornado precautions, go to your safe space, because really you have maybe about a 10-minute lead time before that extremely dangerous thunderstorm is on you. And if it is a tornado warned thunderstorm, it could possibly have a tornado on the ground moving in your direction. So if you are in the polygon and your phone has warned you that you are in a tornado warning, don't go outside. Don't go to try and see it, especially once the sun sets. They are virtually impossible to see. You have to wait for the lightning to flash. And sometimes these storms don't have a whole lot of lightning set up perfectly for you to be able to see the tornado. Not to mention there's other different clouds coming in. You could mistake like a wall cloud for the tornado. It's really difficult to see, or they could be rain wrapped, and then all hope is lost. You will not be able to see that tornado. That said, please download the Fox 7 Weather app. Get that Fox 7 Weather app. That will alert you. Turn on extreme alerts, severe alerts on your phone, and you'll be able to get all of the weather warnings that you could need. And hey, get that Fox 7 Weather app. You can submit some photos to us as well, if it's safe to do so. Don't be going outside and trying to get weather famous, try and get on Fox 7 News, because if there's like a tornado warning or a particularly dangerous severe thunderstorm warning headed your way, wait for the hail to stop before you go outside and try to collect any. Not worth it for you to be putting yourself in any danger at all for your photos, like 3 seconds worth of fame. It's not worth it. Anyways, let's get back to the radar right now, and basically there's not a whole lot of change. We got ourselves those severe thunderstorm warnings out to the west in Mason County, headed into Llano County. They're producing some pretty big hail up in towards San Saba County, and also up near Killeen. That storm is probably going to be producing at least golf ball size hail by the reflectivity of it. There's also a ton of lightning. Farther to the north, we no longer have any tornado warnings, but how about all that lightning? I just want to see how many lightning strikes are going around Buffalo. This is in the last half hour. They've had 3,092 lightning strikes in the past 30 minutes. Absolutely insane. It's just like 300 a minute. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, these storms are very, very powerful. By contrast, our little thunderstorms down here, which have been severe warned, they've had 19 in the past 30 minutes. So yeah, absolutely insane amounts of lightning happening to the north. That's where the enhanced risk for severe weather is. We do have maybe some questions that have been asked. No? Nobody has any questions about the weather for tonight. All right, so I'll just kind of go through it all over again. The same type of thing that I did earlier on. We basically have a severe thunderstorm warning just to the west of Austin. You can see it right here. That storm is behaving. It's producing maybe some quarter-size hail. Let's see if they've updated it. Looks like they changed the polygon size. Oh, it's up to golf ball sized hail. Okay, there you go. Golf ball sized hail is significant, and now we're going to have to change this up and change the messaging on it. Lakeway, Lost Creek, golf ball sized hail will damage your car. It will put dents into your car. It can crack windshields. It can crack windows. This thunderstorm means business. It has up to about 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving to the north and northeast at about 35 miles per hour. I'll track it out for you right here. Moving up this way, so you can expect it in Bee Cave at about 8:07. It's currently 8:01. At Hudson Bend at about 8:30. Cedar Park at 8:53. This is if the storm really holds together and continues on the same track and may kind of curl off to the east a little bit. I'll do that track in a little tiny bit, but then Round Rock by about 9:10, Georgetown by about 9:30, and Serenada by about 9:40 or so. I'll get rid of this track, and we get ourselves kind of put it off this way and include Pflugerville, so that would put it into River Hills at about 8:20, 8:40 for Jollyville, Wells Branch just before 9 p.m. and Round Rock just after 9 p.m. So overall, this is a dangerous thunderstorm. I do believe we have a question we got on YouTube.
What time is the heart of the storm supposed to be over Austin, or at least the majority of it?
Okay, so the question is, what time is the storm supposed to be over Austin, or at least the majority of it? So this is the storm right here. And it looks like it should miss Austin. The worst of this storm, at least for the severe warned thunderstorm which produced the golf ball-sized hail in Dripping Springs, is to the west, and it looks like it should stay to the west. You can kind of run it backwards, so you can see it moving on up towards the north right here. Yeah, there you go. There's your reflectivity with the Dripping Springs type of hail. Once you get those bright pinks and whites, that's when you get some big hail. But it is moving up to the north. It looks like Austin should be getting some light rain right about now. I haven't been outside, unfortunately, but it does look like Austin should be getting some light rain. With this storm, it looks like it is behaving. It's not going to turn to the right, and the National Weather Service has allowed the severe thunderstorm warning to expire. It's no longer producing any hail. We're going to have to watch this storm down here, though. One by Wimberley. It's just a little bit farther to the east, and if it goes on the same track, it could bring it right on up to Austin. I can put the track on it here. Put it for you at about 35 miles per hour and track it straight on up through Austin. So if it was to head straight towards Austin, we get to downtown Austin at about 8:53 p.m. So we still have about an hour for you to take any kind of precautions. It probably would be a good idea, just to be safe for tonight, to put your car in the garage if possible. We had ourselves another question.
Will this storm have any impact on the roads tonight or tomorrow morning?
Yes. Yes, it will for tonight. It looks like tomorrow morning everything should clear on out. I'll bring up one of our weather models right here. You can see this weather model shows this is not doing so great. It's not latching onto the storm, which has already formed. However, you can see by about 10:30 to maybe 11 p.m., especially up to the north of Austin towards Georgetown, yeah, that'll affect your drive. If you do have to drive somewhere tonight, please be very, very careful. Leave early, because you will likely run into some very, very heavy rain. And this is the type of rain which is going to be, blindingly heavy. So you slow down on the highway to, like 30 or 35 miles per hour, have your windshield wipers going like crazy, and still have a hard time seeing. You're not going to want to drive into that kind of rain fast at all. It's the type of rain that could pool up a little layer of water on the road, and if you hit it doing 60 miles an hour or 70, you know how Texas drivers drive. You could hit it going too fast, and all of a sudden you have yourself a hydroplane issue. So please slow down, give yourself extra time. Not to mention, this much rain has the real potential to overtop, the low water crossings. So again, turn around, don't drown. It really is not going to be a good idea for you to go through any river crossings ever if they're covered in water. And then once you get to about 5 to 6 a.m., the good news is you're basically going to stay at home for tonight. Don't blame you. Just watch the lightning from inside. Be safe. Should be out of here by the time we get to 6 a.m. You got another one? No, we don't have any more questions about the weather. Those are great questions, though. But let's go back to the tornado watch again. Goes all the way through until 1 a.m. tomorrow. So should be out of here by the wee hours of the morning, as those thunderstorms are expected to really start to wind themselves down. Your temperatures right now starting to cool off. Of course, the sun is setting or has set. And with that, the temperatures are going to cool down. However, we still have very, very sticky dew points around here. And with the instability building, basically the upper levels of the atmosphere are starting to cool down. We have all of this very warm, humid, moist air at the surface, and if that can get lifted, which is happening in some of these thunderstorms, we can get ourselves a pretty impressive updraft, which can create up to about, golf ball sized hail, which we've observed in Dripping Springs. So here we go. We got ourselves another thunderstorm near San Marcos. That looks like it's weakening right now. As I was mentioning, we had a little tiny blip on the radar, which I kind of thought was bats. It ended up being bats. I'll show it to you right here. It's this thing. I don't remember what the name of the colony is, but it's outside of New Braunfels, and that colony is going out to enjoy themselves. Should be a great night for the bats to go do their thing. But again, those thunderstorms out to the west towards Mason County are severe warned. They have the potential to produce up to about golf ball sized hail, along with that thunderstorm just to the west of Austin. Yeah.
What time will the heart of the storm hit Giddings, Texas?
Giddings, Texas. Looks like about probably maybe 1 a.m. You can go back to this model right here. This is putting those thunderstorms through Giddings right around 1 to 1:15. You can see the timestamp right here and that line of thunderstorms. Crucially, this line of thunderstorms should be weakening significantly. 1:15 p.m. is after the tornado watch is expected to expire. The National Weather Service can extend it if conditions warrant. However, as this cold front moves from northwest to southeast, what can happen is the cold air gets underneath the thunderstorms. And once the cold air gets underneath the thunderstorm can still live. It's just called an elevated thunderstorm, where the air is lifted off of the surface and then it can rise from the top of that cold air all the way up to the top of the troposphere. With that, you can still get some strong winds, you can still get lightning, you can still get very heavy rain, you can still get hail, but you cannot get a tornado. The tornado needs that warm air to be all the way connected to the surface, which is what we call a surface-based thunderstorm. So this type of scenario right here really looks like Giddings, Bastrop, East Austin by about 1 a.m. You won't have to worry about tornadoes. However, you will have to worry about some small hail, possibly up to a quarter, possibly ping pong ball sized hail. The heat of the day is also really what drives the gigantic hail producing, essentially from the very strong updrafts. And once you get through into tonight, even right now, the potential for the really, really big hail is quickly going to be winding down. Once these temperatures get down into the 70s, it's going to be really hard for the updrafts to sustain the really, really big hail. We saw what happened here. This storm created that very large hail in Hayes County, and then it's weakened as it moved into western parts of Travis County. It can possibly redevelop as it moves up to the north. However, as the temperatures continue to fall, the updrafts are going to be weakening slightly. So essentially Giddings right around 1 a.m. However, the potential for tornadoes is going way down once you get to there, and the potential for large hail goes down as well. That said, if you have the option, pull your car into a garage or shop or something like that for tonight, just to be safe. All right. I think that's about it. The Storm Prediction Center has just reissued the slight risk for severe weather. Basically, it's paring down areas up to the north and west. So essentially where the cold front blew through, I can try and draw the cold front for you. Cold front is approximately there. And so areas back up to the north and west of that, that's behind the cold front, they don't have any chance for any thunderstorms to form because the humid air is down to the south and east of the cold front. So we're essentially seeing this severe weather threat slowly get squashed down to the south and east with that cold front as it moves through Texas. Of course, we still do have that potential for severe weather. We're going to continue to monitor it. It's about 8:10 p.m. We'll monitor and try and answer any more questions that do pop up on the YouTube view on the YouTube recording. However, for tonight, stay weather aware. Tune in about an hour. We'll have the latest coming up on the Fox 7 Austin News at 9.